Hey, how you doing? Welcome to our chit chat on meditation and mindfulness, creating a sacred space. So today I think we get really challenged because, we see so many celebrities and billboards with the words meditation and mindfulness, and it's become these kind of buzzwords, and we think we're supposed to have it, but we're not quite sure what it is. And then it becomes, really overwhelming and daunting. And we kind of, we wash our hands of it because we just go, this is bigger than Ben-Hur. And I don't know how to achieve levitating off unicorn puffs. And all the celebrities out there saying, yes, I meditate for an hour, it's the reason I am who I am today. What does that actually mean? I don't know, because I don't know them. I'm really glad that they're bringing the awareness of meditation to the world, though. I think it's really important. However, how do we find a meditation practice for ourselves? So being mindfulness for me is another word for awareness, or practicing awareness. So when I think of mindfulness, it's almost like paying attention, because I become aware of things. I might become aware of the breeze, or the smells, or my surrounds, or the colors, and the bird in the background. Like, all of these things that I understand are present in my sphere right now, or in my surroundings right now. And meditation is our ability to withdraw from all of those distractions and come into a space where we connect in with the self and allow ourselves just to be present with our heart space. So I guess separation from the ego a little bit. And one of the ways we do that is with pratyahara, which is withdrawal of the senses. But I can go into that a little bit later. So meditation for me is around creating some space, and I do that with the connection into the breath. So creating that space and slowing things down, so becoming mindful and aware, so that as I create that space and, thoughts still come and go in and out of the mind, but creating that space allows me to get some clarity around things, and it creates a sense of calm and well-being. It also enables me more space for creativity, and that's a really important one, because everyone on this planet is a creative being. It's just that somewhere along the line in our lives, we've been given a piece of throwaway line from somewhere, a teacher, a parent, or someone somewhere, that's made us think that we're not creative beings, but in actual fact, we all are creative. So that mindfulness leading into our meditation practice is what gives us space for calm and clarity and creativity and a connection with the heart's deepest desires. So how do we get into our meditation practice? So here lies the challenge. So not too challenging, really. I'm not going to say that it's going to be super duper easy as well. And you may already have a meditation practice, which is fantastic. And if you do, there's a part of me that's going to be envious, because I get challenged in my meditation all the time. My monkey mind always wants to come back and distract me, but it's always a work in practice, a work in progress. Like our yoga, it's a practice. Our meditation is a practice. So we sit in it. Some days it's diamond, and some days it's dust. Get up and walk away, come back later in the day. So setting up a sacred space, this is a really important part of the practice, because as you set up a sacred space, this actually signifies to the brain that when you step into that space, that you own this space for a particular purpose. And just like the body loves alignment, the brain loves a trigger that says, ooh, we're going here now. It's like if you say that you're going to have a Coca-Cola or a chocolate bar, the brain gets super excited because you think, ooh, like so many things are going to happen when I connect with that cup of coffee or whatever it might be. So that kind of triggers the brain as well, that when you go into this space, that it's an opportunity for you to take an adult time out and create that sensation of well-being by creating space, calm, an opportunity for clarity and eventually creativity and connecting in with your heart's desires and your true center. So when you go to create your sacred space, it could be anything at all. Like pick a corner of the house, pick a room somewhere out in the garage, anywhere where you're going to be able to create a little space that's just perfectly, imperfectly yours. So it might be that there's a carpet there or a yoga mat, or it could be that you have a particular artwork there that's inspiring for you. There could be, you know, music or candles, incense, malas, crystals are a really beautiful one. You know, there could be a little picture of a Buddha or a Ganesha there, who's the remover of obstacles. I love him. So, you know, these are all things that we set up so that when you go into that space, you connect in with the idea of being at peace and finding that grounded connection. And it's kind of like a signal to the body that you're ready to go into this space of surrender. So sometimes too, we can be a little bit challenged when we travel. So I have created this, and this tin came actually off a Jet Airways flight, and it had cookies in it, and I ate them all. And inside this tin I have a couple of things, and this comes with me wherever I go in the world, and it goes into my backpack, and well, it does go in my backpack, and I carry it with me everywhere I go. So inside I have a mala that was made especially for me by one of my yoga teachers, and so you know, I feel very connected to this mala. It's a special thing. Then I have another mala, and this one is Rudraksha, which is said to be Shiva's tears. And I was actually gifted this by a sadhu in Haridwar in northern India. And then in here I also have the pièce de résistance, my glow in the dark. Yes, I said it, glow in the dark, Ganesha. And so anywhere I go, I'm able to set up my own sacred space wherever I might be in the world. And everything just packs inside that little tin. So I've got things there that are of meaning to me, that are important. Ganesha, he's the remover of obstacles. Those crystals, that connection with the sadhu in that holy place. Things that I've collected that signify to me that that this is my space for meditation. Literally it's this big, and sometimes wherever I am I might also have some incense, and if you are traveling, a little trick that I do is I don't have an incense holder or anything like that. I actually use a bar of soap, and then I just spike that bar of soap, hotel soap or whatever. I spike that bar of soap with my incense and put it on a burn-free surface, so that's always advisable, and then that suffices as my incense burner or holder. So it's possible to create a sacred space wherever you go. Like your yoga mat, as you travel, I always travel obviously with my yoga mat, and that also designates or says that that's a sacred space for me as well. That's where I go for my adult time out, is onto my yoga mat, so you know I can see my Ganesha and maybe I'm burning some incense and there's my yoga mat. So when we're at a more permanent residence or a fixed abode, creating that sacred space can be I guess a little more detailed and a little bit more personal as you create that place that you want to go and hang out for your meditation. So there are all sorts of things that you can do there too. You can use sage to clear the area and the energies there. You can bathe your crystals and then bury them in the ground overnight, or you can leave them out in the full moon to cleanse the crystals. There's all sorts of things that you can do, but it's really up to you, the space that you create for your meditation. So we're going to come back a little bit later after you've read through some of the information there that I've given you, and we're actually going to together work through a meditation, loving kindness meditation, and there'll be every week there'll be some new meditations there, and we will work on guided meditations, so that in that first instance I'm actually leading you through that meditation so that you have that comfortability around around being there and developing that practice and knowing that you're not alone. Eventually it will come to a point where you no longer, it's nice sometimes to have a guided meditation, it's true, but you'll be able to drop into that practice without somebody else guiding you through it, because you'll know how to connect in with the breath and find that stillness and that little bit of space. So just while we're on this subject, the whole purpose of our yoga practice is to get bendy, stretchy, realign the spine so that we can sit longer in meditation. How about them apples, right? I know. Who'd have thunk it? That is the whole purpose of our yoga asana. So if you look back into history in India, they actually didn't practice any asana at all. Asana is a pretty recent evolution. In fact, we can track back our Ashtanga Vinyasa practice to like the 1880s. So it's really not that old. And it came out to the US in the 1920s or early 1900s, and then the practice has evolved from there, and it's just evolved more rapaciously as you know, yoga has spread throughout the world, and also I guess our knowledge of the physical self has enabled asana to evolve at that same, you know, to evolve as well. So it's quite fascinating, really. But so in ancient times, back in Vedic times, you know, asana was really about, and asana actually means seat, so it's about finding a seat, a comfortable seat, sthira sukhanasana, so that you could stay in meditation. And I guess, you know, in ancient times, they didn't have all the constraints that we have on us today in terms of our busy lives and our cars and sedentary, being seated at our desks for long periods of time and tightening into the psoas and all those sort of things. So they didn't really require an asana practice per se, or you know, a series of asana or postures that was going to enable them to sit in meditation. They just could sit in meditation. They just didn't have the distractions that we have today. So in Western culture, we've actually devised this practice so that we have our suite of asana, or this, you know, collection of postures and flows that we can go through to open up, elongate the spine, you know, give some reprieve to that fight or flight muscle so that we can actually sit longer in our meditation practice. So I always find that quite fascinating, that in those ancient times that wasn't a necessity, but in today's modern times, it's actually a requirement for us so that we can go through that process and connect into the breath and open up, you know, the hips, the spine, the shoulders, release some of that stress to enable us to clear the monkey mind and connect in with our meditation practice. So here we go. So our first meditation today, or the first meditation of the series, is going to be a loving kindness meditation. So I genuinely hope you enjoy this, and please feel free to go and set yourselves up with your sacred space. Bring into that space whatever is going to work for you and make it a really beautiful, attractive place for you to go and take your adult time out and clear that monkey mind. Anyway, I will see you on the next video.